Kim Woo Bin and Shin Min Ah's life-changing decision. The love that chose peace over fame. It was supposed to be a quiet morning, a gentle beginning to a new chapter for Kim Woo Bin and Shin Min Ah, who had just welcomed their first child less than a month ago. Yet, before the city of Seoul had even awakened, every major Korean news outlet was flooded with a single, shocking headline. Kim Woo Bin and Shin Min Ah announced life-changing decision less than a month after birth. No one saw it coming. Not their closest friends, not their agencies, and certainly not the millions of fans who had stood by their side through illness, recovery, and love. The world had assumed that the couple would now settle into domestic bliss, peaceful, content, and away from the noise of fame. But destiny had written something deeper, something that would touch hearts far beyond their own. The truth wasn't about scandal or betrayal. It wasn't about broken promises or public drama. It was a story about love, a rare, quiet kind of love that finds its meaning not in the spotlight, but in the silence that follows. When Shin Min Ah gave birth, the couple had vanished from the public eye. No reporters, no paparazzi, no leaked photos. They had chosen a small seaside clinic far away from Seoul's bustling celebrity hospitals. It was a place known only to a handful of staff, peaceful, quiet, and open to the sound of the ocean waves instead of camera shutters. There, for several days, the couple learned what it meant to start over. They traded red carpets for midnight lullabies, award shows for sleepless nights. For the first time in years, they were just two people, parents holding a fragile new life, learning how to love differently. Later, in her statement, Shin Min Ah recalled those moments with trembling honesty. "Woo Bin held my hand the entire time," she wrote. "He didn't say a word, but I could feel everything through his touch, every fear, every heartbeat, every tear." That silence between them spoke louder than any declaration. The birth had changed them, not just emotionally, but spiritually. Both had faced mortality before, Woo Bin through his harrowing battle with cancer, and Min Ah through the years she spent watching him fight it. Now, with their child in their arms, they were forced to look inward and ask themselves, what kind of life did they want their baby to grow up in? It was in that question that everything began to shift. A few days after the birth, Kim Woo Bin quietly turned off his phone. He stopped answering calls from his agency, ignored pending scripts, and refused to read any new offers. He canceled interviews, paused brand deals, and simply disappeared from every schedule that once ruled his life. "He told me he just needed to breathe," a close friend later revealed. "He said he didn't want to chase anything anymore. He just wanted to feel again." Each morning, Woo Bin walked along the shoreline outside the clinic. Sometimes he carried his baby in a soft blanket, whispering lullabies only the waves could hear. Other times, he walked alone under the gray sky, staring out at the horizon for hours. Those who saw him said he looked like a man standing between two worlds, one of fame and applause, and another of quiet, fragile peace. And then came the letter. It wasn't an official statement drafted by a PR team. It wasn't filtered through managers or stylists. It was handwritten, intimate, simple, and posted quietly on their shared fan page late one evening. "To everyone who has loved and supported us throughout our journey," it began. "There is something we need to tell you. It may shock you, but please understand that it comes from a place of peace." Fans braced themselves, unsure of what to expect. Then, the truth unfolded. Both Kim Woo Bin and Shin Min Ah had decided to step away from the entertainment industry indefinitely. Not because of scandal, exhaustion, or disillusionment, but because they wanted to live truthfully, to give their child a life rooted in authenticity, not performance. "We have spent our entire adult lives under the lights," Woo Bin wrote. "But light can blind you. We forgot what real mornings looked like, what silence sounded like, and how love feels when there are no cameras around." Min Ah added her own words, filled with grace and quiet conviction. "Our child opened our eyes. We realized that fame had given us everything, and quietly taken everything away. Now we want to give our baby a life that begins in truth, not in noise." Within hours, the letter went viral. It spread through news portals, fan forums, and international media. The phrase, "a life that begins in truth, not noise," became a rallying cry online. Industry insiders were stunned. Directors, producers, and advertisers scrambled to understand what it meant. Two A-list stars, both at the height of their power, choosing to disappear from the public eye altogether? It was unthinkable. But fans reacted differently. Shock quickly turned into admiration. Thousands of comments flooded their fan page, not pleading for their return, but thanking them. "You reminded us that peace still exists," one fan wrote. "That love can be louder than fame." The entertainment world labeled it the most courageous decision in K-biz. But behind the serenity of that letter lay a truth that few people knew. Just a week after giving birth, Shin Min-ah suffered unexpected health complications. Her body, already weakened by pregnancy and stress, required immediate treatment. Once again, the couple faced the shadows of hospital corridors, a haunting reminder of Woo Bin's own battle years before. "Every time he saw her struggling," he said later, "the memories came rushing back, the machines, the pain, the fear. He couldn't bear it. He stayed by her side every second, sleeping on the hospital couch, holding her hand through the worst nights." "I've already seen what it's like to lose someone," Woo Bin confided to a friend. "I won't risk it again. No project, no fame, no schedule will ever come before her." That was when he made the final call. He withdrew from all upcoming films, including a major international project that was expected to propel his career to global fame. He even returned the deposit. "He didn't care," the same friend said quietly. "He told me, this is my real life. This is what matters." During her recovery, Shin Min-ah began writing in a small notebook, her way of processing the storm within her. Her words were raw and beautiful, later shared with fans through a short essay that went viral. "I've spent so many years playing characters who lose themselves for love," she wrote. "Now I finally understand what that means. Love isn't losing yourself. It's choosing to stay, even when everything else tells you to run." Her reflection touched millions. Those words were reposted across Asia, quoted in magazines, and even printed on fan art. They weren't just about romance, they were about courage, about choosing life over image. Meanwhile, Woo Bin and Min-ah began building a new kind of life, a quiet one by the sea. They bought a small home near the coastline where they had first hidden after the birth. Neighbors would sometimes spot them walking hand in hand, wearing simple clothes, their baby bundled between them. They cooked together, planted flowers, painted, and learned to fix broken things around the house. They lived without assistance, without cameras, without hurry. The world still called them celebrities, but they no longer carried that title in their hearts. They had become ordinary, and it was the most extraordinary thing they had ever achieved. Their absence didn't make them disappear from public consciousness, quite the opposite. Their story became a quiet revolution. Other actors began opening up about burnout and mental health. Younger trainees started questioning whether fame was worth the cost. Woo Bin and Min-ah had unknowingly become symbols, not of rebellion, but of awakening. They weren't walking away from the screen in defeat. They were walking toward something real. Their friends said that parenthood had completely transformed them. The same people who once graced global campaigns now found happiness in making breakfast, or in hearing their baby's first laugh. Their home was filled not with luxury, but with peace, the kind of peace money could never buy. "Sometimes," a friend shared, "they sit on the porch in the evening, watching the sunset in silence. They don't talk about fame or scripts anymore. They talk about life, the kind they finally have time to live." Their story rippled through the entertainment industry. Talk shows, magazines, and even psychology experts began analyzing what their decision meant in a culture obsessed with success. It wasn't just a career break, it was a statement. In a world where stars are expected to shine endlessly, they had dared to dim the lights. Kim Woo Bin and Shin Min-ah's choice wasn't glamorous. It wasn't dramatic. It was human. And in that humanity lay its power. Less than a month after the birth of their child, what began as a shocking headline had transformed into one of the most profound love stories in modern Korean entertainment. They had walked away from fame not out of rejection, but out of reverence, for life, for love, for truth. They reminded everyone that sometimes the bravest thing you can do is stop running. Their letter ended with a final line that fans still quote today. "We leave behind the lights, but we are not disappearing. We are simply returning to where love feels real." It was not an ending, but a rebirth. Their story continues not on screens, but in quiet mornings by the sea, where laughter replaces applause, and peace replaces pressure. They may no longer belong to the stage, but their legacy glows brighter than ever, not the light of fame, but the gentle light of peace, the kind that lasts a lifetime.